Domain 3, school improvement leadership. Change process model. Change process model. Fullen, 1982 and 1991, proposed there are 4 phases in the change process: initiation, implementation, continuation, and outcome. Initiation is affected by the existence and quality of innovations, access to those innovations, advocacy from central administrators, that big push, teacher advocacy for buy-in, and external change agents like laws and procedures. Implementation is affected by 3 categories: characteristics of change, which include the need of change, clarity of goals and needs, complexity of the change, and quality and practicality of the change. Also, local factors in the implementation process: the district or education agency, the community, the principals, and the teachers, all of their attitudes towards the change. And then external factors include the government or other agencies that might be affecting implementation. Continuation depends on the institutionalization of innovation based on the reaction to change, whether it's built into the structure, participants skilled in and committed to it, and if there's continued assistance in implementation. Outcome are perspectives, active initiation and participation, pressure, support, and negotiation, changes in skills, thinking, and committed actions, overriding the problem of ownership. This is our change, so that buy-in piece is a big outcome. Domain 3, school improvement leadership, barriers to change. So reasons for resistance. Fullen stated that people resist change when the purpose isn't clear, there's no vision. Participants are not involved in the planning, but they're affected by it. The appeal is personal reasons. There's like a pet project. They're not interested in that sort of thing. Habit patterns are ignored. Poor communication or rumors regarding the change. Fear of failure. Excessive work pressure. The cost is too high. The reward is inadequate. Present situation is satisfactory, or there's a lack of trust and respect with the administrator or the change agent. Domain 3, school improvement leadership, needs analysis, identifying areas of strength and weakness. Ones that are loudest and most persistent have their needs met. This is reactive instead of proactive to meet the needs of stakeholders. So before, you need to ask these questions. What do we want to know? Where and how can we obtain the information or data? And who will analyze the information or data so that we can communicate and utilize the findings? Domain 3, school improvement leadership, critical questions. Formulating question polls for stakeholders, regularly polling stakeholders to see if their needs are being met. They should ask the right questions to ensure the info can be obtained. Some key questions include: what does a successful school look like? What are we doing now that we should continue? What are we doing now that we aren't? What should we start doing now that we aren't doing? What should we stop doing? What is most difficult about your role as a whatever their stakeholder role is? How can our school support you in reaching your personal goals? Domain 3, school improvement leadership, utilizing data for evaluation. There are 4 types of data: achievement, demographic, program, and perception. Achievement is the largest form. School's ultimate goal. Annual large-scale assessments, periodic assessments, and ongoing classroom assessments provide this achievement data. Demographic data includes age, gender, ethnicity, religion, income, enrollment patterns, parent involvement statistics, behavior and social issues affecting students both inside and outside of schools, and special program services rates or subgroups. Programs data includes success rates. They're relative to other programs serving similar students. And this data is used for decision making, and it's the most valuable in affecting student needs. Perception includes the perception of community, stakeholders, about the quality of education. It's collected with formal and informal surveys, and it can be also faculty, students, parents, admin, student government, school board, etc. Domain 3, school improvement, leadership, monitoring, and revising. It should be a continuous feedback loop. Data is collected, evaluated, revised, assessed whether you're meeting the goals, and then you repeat. Collect and evaluate regularly. Domain 3, school improvement, leadership, institution bias. Institutional bias is defined as discrimination of an individual or group by an organization or entity like the government, company, or school system. This is built into the policies, laws, objectives, or operating procedures and may go unnoticed. Discrimination of those with IEP, hearing or seeing, etc., racism, stereotypes, privilege, class bias, gender and sex biases, etc. Domain 3, school improvement, leadership, opportunity, and achievement gaps. The difference in academic performance between different ethnic groups. There's four pillars of opportunity established by the Every Student Succeeds Act, and it focuses on equity. You want to move from the factory model to the 21st century model that focuses on deeper thinking, higher order thinking. The four pillars are high quality curriculum and assessment, clear measures of success, adequate, equitable resources, and proven interventions, or RTI. Data includes major racial or ethnic groups, economically disadvantaged, special education, limited English proficiency, gender, migrant, foster youth, homeless youth, military youth. Those three were introduced with ESSA. Some possible solutions for equity: fair and adequate funding, increased teacher compensation and hire qualified teachers, training and mentoring for teachers, curriculum that is engaging and rigorous, access to pre-K for all children, access to quality health care, access to nutritious diets, use other nations as an example. Domain 3, school improvement, leadership, special programs. Federal Carl D. Perkins Career and Technical Education Improvement Act 2006, or Perkins 4, provided $1.3 billion a year in federal support to career and technical education programs across the U.S. They're driven by economic improvement. The achievement in these programs is related to career and technical education program completion, the earning of a 12th grade diploma, the placement of 12th graders following that completion. Essentially, are they getting jobs in those fields? Non-traditional program enrollment and career program completion. Special services or special populations, those with disabilities, socially economically disadvantaged or foster youth, non-traditionally employment seekers, single parents or pregnant women, displaced homemakers, limited English or other barriers. These are programs specifically to give them what they need so that they can get a job. Non-traditional careers have less than 25% females represented. It's identified by the California Department of Education, and there's a need for equity in recruitment, training, and placement protocols. Domain 3, school improvement, leadership, differentiated instruction. English language learners, Lau versus Nichols, 1974. A lack of assistance due to English proficiency. San Francisco County, Chinese American, Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. It focuses on equity, and linguistically appropriate accommodations need to be given. It made coined the theory that language discrimination is by proxy nation of origin discrimination. Essentially, there needs to be services for language accommodations for students or parents that need them. California Prop 227, 1998 was a limited English proficiency. We're moved to immersion model, so there's less than 1 year in a sheltered class. They're taught English with accommodations. They're taught a good working knowledge of spoken English. It eliminated the need for bilingual classes, and parents can opt their student out of these services. Prop 58 in 2016 updated these two models so parents don't need to sign a waiver that includes parent involvement as a requirement in the plan for these students. Stakeholders in language acquisition program. The parents are part of the stakeholders. 20 parents or 30 parents can request bilingual aids if they're all in the same grade at the same site and their language is not represented. IDEA, Individuals with Disabilities in Education Act 1997, 14 specified categories, birth to 18 to 21. They ensures FAPE, free appropriate public education, and an individualized education plan for those students. The disabilities acknowledge where autism, deaf blindness, deafness, developmental delay, mental retardation, visual impairment, multiple disabilities, orthopedic impairment, other health impairment, emotional disturbance, specific learning disability, traumatic brain injury, and speech and language impairment. These students need to be in the least restrictive environment. The Ninth Circuit Court's test has 4 questions. What is the educational benefit of a general education classroom? What are the non-academic benefits? What is the effect on the teacher and other students? And what is the cost of mainstreaming? There are 8 levels of services. 1, general education, only accommodation, no services. 2, general education with push-in services. 3, resource specialists or pull-out services. 4, special day class, SDC. 5, non-public schools. 6, day treatment center. 7, residential treatment centers. And 8, home hospital instruction. Okay. Domain 3, school improvement leadership, maximizing technology use. Technology should be a tool used to enhance learning, a supplemental tool like videos, lessons, flipped classroom, powerful assessments, differentiation, Common Core, 21st century skills. Domain 3, school improvement leadership, problem-solving models. You should seek to enhance student achievement by collecting the data needed to diagnose the areas of need and identify effective, evidence-based interventions. Student skills and response to intervention. Collaborative, so it's a team of general and special education teachers or specialists specific to the issue. An example is RTI. It's a 3-tier model. Tier 1, individual works with the teacher with differentiation and interventions in place. Tier 2, the team is creating a specific intervention plan with the general curriculum. And Tier 3, special education referrals given. This should be comprehensive collaborative approach, and it should be proactive to reduce placement in special education services. And that was all of Domain 3, School Improvement Leadership.